Hello, my name is R. Shaffer Claridge. I am a senior lecturer in the Law and Justice Department here at Central Washington University, and a poem that I like is The Indian Upon God by William Butler Yeats. Yeats was an Irish poet in the 19th and early 20th centuries. He was somewhat star-crossed, both in his politics and in his love, and I think that's reflected in the vast body of his work, which is, in my opinion, defined by a melancholy and ennui that resonates with me because those are things that I, from time to time, feel as well. Yeats's poems are puzzles. They're defined by his heavy reliance on symbolism and his love of abstraction. I'd say that for me, it takes several readings of a Yeats poem before I have even the faintest idea of what's going on. So, The Indian Upon God, I think, really shows something that I love about poetry, which is the fact that it can, through its imagery, that it can, through its symbolism, express feelings that are so difficult for us to express ordinarily. In this poem, I think, Yeats really is hitting on our primary limitation as human beings, which is the fact that, from an existential standpoint, it is impossible for us to conceive of things in a way that isn't in our own self-interest. We can only understand things as they relate to us as people. And I think here Yeats is exploring how one of the ultimate abstractions, the idea of God, the idea of the metaphysical, something which transcends our human limitations, is in some ways impossible to explore because it's so difficult for us to imagine anything beyond our own limitations. And I say that I appreciate Yeats because he can explain that through his poetry so much more eloquently and succinctly than I can. So, just a brief primer before I start, which is you're going to hear from several different creatures in this poem, some of them animals, some of them plants, and I'll leave it at that as I start. So this is by William Butler Yeats, The Indian Upon God. I passed along the water's edge below the humid trees. My spirit rocked in evening light, the rushes round my knees. My spirit rocked in sleep and sighs, and saw the moorfowl pace, all dripping on a grassy slope, and saw them cease to chase each other round in circles, and heard the eldest speak, who holds the world between his bill, and made us strong or weak, is an undying moorfowl, and he lives beyond the sky. The rains are from his dripping wing, the moonbeams from his eye. I passed a little further on, and heard a lotus talk, who made the world and ruleth it, he hangeth on a stalk. For I am in his image made, and all the twinkling tide is but a sliding drop of rain between his petals wide. A little way within the gloom a roebuck raised his eyes, brimful of starlight, and he said, the stamper of the skies, he is a gentle roebuck. For how else, I pray, could he conceive a thing so sad and soft, a gentle thing like me? I passed a little further on, and heard a peacock say, who made the grass, and made the worms, and made my feathers gay. He is a monstrous peacock, and he waveth all the night, his languid tail above us, lit with myriad spots of light.